live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, and welcome to another episode of the Polyhedron Collider Plays D&D. Tonight we have the Masters of Fate, and they are myself, John Cage, as Xanhorn
You're the
the
champions
Bard.
of chance.
What did I say? Masters of Fate? I need to
Yeah.
rewrite my notes.
Yeah.
Copy and paste, honestly. Champions
Hashtag ramshackle.
of chance. There we go, won't do that again. I got the people right. So
if you'd faffed, you would have had all the right information in front.
Well, I did faff, but I thought I had loads of time because I was assuming that you were going to take longer. So, let me finish the intro then. We have Rory joining us again as Havarl the Paladin. We have Paul as Cenza the Cleric. We have Ben as Benjin the Barbarian. And of course, as always, we have our benevolent DM, Steve. So, Steve, if you'd like to step once again into the torchlight and continue the recap of our incredible journey.
Okay, in the last couple of sessions, 'cause I can't remember exactly the boundary of where one session ended and one began, you were in Neverwinter, chasing up some supplies for one thing. You'd been hoping to go and tell people of the giant attacks that have been occurring all over the Sword Coast, or that you'd seen on the Sword Coast. Where to find that refugees were starting to pile into Waterdeep, and the city was starting to get busy. While you were there, however, you bumped into Bran Blackwater, a nasty villain of a noble who you thought was dead. And at the point when you tried to blackmail him and try and force some information out of him, he called the city guard on you, and you were charged with intimidating a noble, a very serious offence in the city of Waterdeep. You spent a night in the cells, and then the following day you were told by members of the Lord's Alliance that a cloud giant castle was above the city, and it looked like it was going to do some sort of attack. So you were to, in exchange for your freedom and to keep quiet, because you are the heroes of Waterdeep, mind you, that if you were to go in and do some reconnaissance and maybe broker a deal with the giants, you'd be set free. So you got in, found out there was a plan afoot to steal an orb of dragonkind from Neverwinter, and the castle above Waterdeep was merely a distraction.
Just a ruse.
So you hightailed it out of there using a Otterlux resilient sphere to hamster ball a chimera off the side of the castle into the ocean, into the Sea of Swords. When you got back, you decided that the thing to do was to head to Neverwinter, and then you also visited a dragon expert who informed you that he thought the best course of action to sort out this giant was to get a ancient dragon on your side. I mentioned 3 ancient dragons of the north. He mentioned Ymrith the Blue, also known as the Doom of the Desert, Clouth the Terrible, who is a red dragon, and I can never pronounce his name, Claugimiator, also known as Old Nal Bone, which was a green dragon in Cryptgarden Forest. And you were told that Cryptgarden Forest is not too far from Neverwinter. And you were also given some potions of poison resistance, I think, in case old Norbone got a bit nasty and tried to poison you with her poison breath.
That's it. And some advice that we might want to soothe her with musical instruments, but not too much.
Yes.
Because she might want to keep us.
Or provide her with a gift of some description.
Us.
So, the last thing that happened is that was your meeting, and you decided to hit the hay for the night and visited a local tavern. Xanhorn entertained the crowds in the tavern, which got your food and lodgings for the night paid for in tips and gratitude. And it's the following morning. So you are currently in the tavern, tucking into breakfast. Some sausages, some bread, all to soak up the juiciness of the greasy meat and bacon that's on your plates. Ready to take on the world.
I presume we've had a long rest then.
Yes, you have had a long rest, yeah. So you're busy tucking into breakfast And there's the tavern's reasonably busy because you've got people, workers coming in, grabbing something to eat for breakfast, all the other people that stayed the night, that kind of thing. So the tavern is not rammed, but a few people on tables all around. So there's people coming and going, but one thing takes your notice at first. This woman walks in, looks around the tables, and makes a beeline straight for your table. She plunks herself down, grabs a fork, and grabs one of the sausages off Benjin's plate. Starts eating it.
Can we help you?
So what's the plan?
Who are you? Sorry?
Who I am is really of no concern, I suppose, but what's the plan?
Benjin's just going to take a sausage from Xanhorn's plate and just place it on his and cross his arms.
Xanhorn's going to take a sausage from Cenza's plate.
Yeah, Cenza's going to reach over and ask for his no plate. Oh.
There's a little kind of wry smile on her face when she sees you doing this.
No, we don't just discuss plans of the Champions of Chance with anyone who just plonks themselves down at our table. Let's start with your name, shall we?
Let's not start with my name. Let's start with, well, let's just say I'm a friend.
A friend?
What does she look like?
Yeah, is she human, Alvin?
Yeah, she looks like the angular features on her face mean she might be half elven. She's got long dark hair. She is reasonably well dressed, not like super expensive, but it's got reasonable priced kit on. Practical as well, so she's wearing like boots, hose. Her body is armored under her cloak as well, so she's wearing some kind of leather armor.
Okay.
And she's very, very relaxed. Like she's like kind of sitting back. She goes, "Well, the way I hear it, you guys are off to Neverwinter."
You appear to be well informed.
That's my job. So, what's the plan?
Well, clearly to head off to Neverwinter.
Okay, so there's a storm giant. There's a cloud giant's castle above Waterdeep. There's a cloud giant's castle above Neverwinter. Story is that you guys are heading to Neverwinter because the giant's castle above Neverwinter wants to steal an orb of dragonkind. Am I right?
Xanhorn will just pause, eyeing at her like, how does she know all this? You're with Aldestra?
Let's just say I have contacts on the Lord's Council. Let's just say, of course, can't give away names because the whole point the Lords of Waterdeep is they're all masked. One of the Lords thinks you need some assistance.
Well, it's
So
pretty
what's the
rare.
plan?
It's pretty rare that we turn down assistance, but it's also pretty rare that we don't get screwed over by people that we've only just
Fair
met.
comment.
It's also very rare that we even need assistance.
Well, obviously, I mean, being the
Well, this
heroes
is
of
my
Waterdeep.
concern. She goes, all that I've been told is you guys are heading on a boat to Neverwinter, which is going to take what, a week, 4 or 5 days. By which time both Neverwinter and Waterdeep could be flat as a pancake. But let's say the giants don't attack until after you get there. What's the plan? Storm onto the giant's castle and kick some ass?
It's worked for us before.
So there's a reason why you call yourselves the champions of chance then. It's just pure luck that you've managed to get where you've got so far. Is that right?
Xanhorn look a bit
No, there's
insulted by
been
that.
research.
Let's just say, in our line of work, you don't often get a lot of chance to actually go ahead with making a plan.
Well, can I make some suggestions then?
Never turn down some suggestions.
Well, there are a group of concerned individuals that have been watching your progress from stopping the module attack against Waterdeep, stopping the poisoning of Waterdeep. We heard about you in Nightstone. We've heard about you prevented attack in Goldenfield. So you're obviously, your hearts are in the right place. But you need to, if you're going to do something in Neverwinter, you need to get there pretty quick. So we'd like to help you get there.
Now we're talking.
Indeed, I would like to get home quite quickly.
The other thing is, though, what are you going to do when you get there?
Well, he says, looking back at his notes from last time. I think you hit the nail on the head. If there's an imminent invasion in Neverwinter and it's coming from that cloud castle, obviously the first stop is reconnaissance.
Okay. You do realise if you fight an army of giants that they're probably going to hit you like a nail on the head.
That's assuming that that we're caught.
Can I offer an alternative?
Of course.
Well, according to your intelligence, the giants are after an orb of dragonkind.
Indeed.
Why don't you beat them to the punch?
Okay. So maybe you are better informed than we may have let on. You
And
happen
how
to...
do you suggest we get to this orb of dragonkind?
Well, that's where the champions of chance will have to use their amazing luck, because no one knows where an orb of dragonkind currently is. It's just rumoured to be in Neverwinter.
Well then, our first step is obviously the House of Knowledge, because the clergy of Ogma know a great deal.
Excellent plan. Wow, you do organise yourselves with a bit of pushing, don't you?
Xanhorn will be like, yeah, we don't like being pushed generally.
A nudge then in the right direction. The question is, though, if you do get the orb, it's what you do with it then. Now, ideally, you need to try and stop this attack. Yeah?
There would be a lot of innocent lives lost if that attack went ahead, that's for sure.
We'll leave that to your better judgment, but you either need to hand over that orb or get it out of Neverwinter as quickly as possible. Agree?
Yeah, I would say so.
Excellent. It's good to see we're all on the same page. You haven't got any more of this fried bread, have you? It's really good in here.
I'm sure if you go and ask the barkeep, they would find some for you as well. Xanhorn will just pull his plate slightly closer to him.
I pull my plate slightly away from Xanhorn.
Okay.
If we do need to contact you, who should we be looking for?
Why don't I tell you who else you can contact? You can contact members of my organisation. It might not be me. It might be somewhere else. What I suggest, though, is when you're ready, you meet me at the City of the Dead, Graveyard District, and we can send you on your way. How does that sound?
You said contact members of your organisation, but again, you didn't actually mention who that is.
She goes into a coat and pulls out a folded piece of paper and puts it on the table. This is a map of sorts. Contact any one of the people in these places, and they can get a message back to us. She slides the map over to you.
Xanhorn will slide it over to Cenza.
Okay. Ooh. Yata, Mirabar, Everland, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Loudwater. This is a teleportation map. Are you implying you can teleport us between any of these places?
And that's the reason why he's the clever one.
Can I do a insight check on her to see if she's hiding anything?
And make an insight check. As far as you can work out, the only thing she seems to be hiding is her own identity because she
Okay.
hasn't said a name. You can do a perception check as well.
Okay. And can I do some sort of check to figure out the identity of her group, given it's written on top of the handout?
I was going to say that is
I was just gonna.
what she's given you
Oh.
is pretty obvious, and you can see indications on this thing that it's a harp. The group is the Harpers.
Okay.
And you can just make out on her on like the lapel, slightly hidden. You can look and make it a badge, and during your knowledge, it's like the badge is like kind of face down. Now you're looking for it. It's probably a Harper badge, which they can kind of like, yeah.
What do the Harpers mean to Benjin?
Or any of us, for that matter.
Well, no, they're mentioned in my. Do they mean anything to me?
What's your background regarding that?
Well, it says Harpers are somebody who I've got down as allegiances with, because I think the Harpers have allegiances with my tribe.
So
What would that mean to me?
The Harpers,
Or is that just a generic thing?
You would have maybe heard of them to do with the tribe, and to be fair, both Xanhorn and Cenza will have heard a little bit more about them because they're called the Harpers because they use bards a lot, and so the priests of Ogmar are kind of linked to them. They're a group which is quite a secretive organization, but they're kind of like they don't want power to go to the wrong people.
Okay.
So they're like, almost like a good terrorist group, if that makes a bit of a weird sense, in that the cells dotted all over the place, but their aim is to just try and stop bad things from happening.
More like rebels, then.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Havarl might have his mic on somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rory, if you can hear us.
Turn it down a bit.
If we hear a pair of flies in a second.
What, just buzzing around? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Can I mute him on my feed, I wonder? Yes, there we go, that'll do. So we'll just wait till his video changes.
So, she says, "You all happy?"
As happy as one can be when a giant floating castle hovers over your home.
Well, yeah, that's why we thought you'd be the people to be involved in this, really.
Okay, I think we have an accord here. You'll have to understand that we're, let's say, reticent when we meet new people because, in the past it's not always gone well when we've been as upfront as we might be.
It's perfectly understandable. So, if you're ready to go,
we have one or two loose ends to tie up before we head off.
Okay. See you in a couple of hours?
Yeah, I should think so. And I'll look at the other guys like, is that okay?
That's fine. Now your appointments.
Excellent. She puts a coin on the table, like a silver coin. She goes, "Use this if you need to get back into the teleports. But for now, I shall see you at the City of the Dead in a couple of hours."
At where?
The City of the Dead, which is the name for the graveyard.
The City
in
of the
Waterdeep.
Dead.
Yeah.
Right.
So the coin is like a harper coin, so it's got the harper symbol of a harp inside a crescent moon inside it.
Okay.
Basically the Guinness symbol.
Yeah, more or less.
How do we use this exactly?
It's just an identification coin, really.
Right, I see. Xanhorn will tuck it away somewhere.
And with that, She says, "I'll see you later then," and walks out the tavern.
What a strange woman. I kind of like her. Right. So Xanhorn will finish up his breakfast. Did about you guys, but I had a few errands to run after.
We have some shopping to do.
Maybe
I think.
some tasty gear. You
I'm at your disposal.
Mm.
well then, let's get at it. So if we could head back to the stall where we popped in before.
Okay, so you'd headed into the main market, hadn't you?
Yeah.
And you'd made
Some
put in
inquiries.
an order for any kind of weaponry that they could get or anything that could help protect you.
Yeah.
So you head back to the market stall, and the market trader that you saw there is obviously keeping an eye out for you. Come forward, gentlemen, come forward.
Hail and good morning.
Good morning. So, I managed to acquire a couple of objets d'art that might interest you.
Xanhorn will try and contain his smile. Do go on.
Well, let's have a look. He scurries around and finds out. Gets a little ring box. Opens up the ring box and goes, "This is a magic ring of mind shielding. This will protect your mind from psychic attacks. Of interest, you gentlemen?"
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Puts it to one side. This pulls out a little vial, which seems to be glowing slightly with like a heat. It goes, "This is a potion of frost resistance, so to protect you in the cold winter months, gentlemen."
I'll look at the other guys like, I think we already have some protection, but maybe.
Okay. And with this pulls out this like long item wrapped in cloths and unwraps it, and it's this beautiful long sword. And this is a magical long sword. To be keen and sharp and to help slay your foes.
Interesting.
Can I interest you in any of these items, gentlemen?
I'll look at Benjin like, it's a nice sword.
I've got quite a nice sword.
In what way is it magical?
You'll see it's sharp, it's keen, it'll aid you and guide your blows.
You're going to have to be a little bit more specific than that.
It is magical. It assists you in combat.
Xanhorn will
sharper, keener.
Xanhorn will reach forward to look at it, to inspect it.
Have a go, sir.
If I pick it up, does it feel any different? Or is it just...
Yeah, it feels. It feels well. Number one, it feels really well made. The balance is quite nice, but you do feel that there's a certain guide to the swings. It's got a certain
interesting
pull to it.
Now,
so you're very interested in the sword, sir.
Well, the thing is,
I can see your eyes lighting up.
It does look like a very nice sword. I agree with that.
Yes.
However, I'm not actually brilliant with swords. If it was a rapier, we'd be talking, but this is a bit too heavy-handed for me. So
it's a long sword, is it?
Yeah, you gentlemen only told me you were after weapons, and well, see, long swords are one of the most common forms of weaponry available. So this is all I could find at the short notice.
I've already got a big great axe and a great sword, and
can I interest you in it for 700 gold pieces?
Shit,
Xanhorn will cough at that. Like, I mean, you know, we could probably take it or leave it, right, guys?
Yeah,
a bit too much, a bit too rich for you, mate. Well, sir, this ring here, which will protect you from others invading your mind, that's a much more budget option, shall we say, and that's a steal at 500 gold pieces.
Yeah. Xanhorn looks sideways at the other guys like, pretty sure we've only got about maybe a couple of hundred gold between us.
Yeah.
Maybe
mean-
then, sir, if Sarah's working on a budget, it'd be interesting. The potion of frost resistance, 250 gold pieces.
It does sound lovely. But,
You've already got the warming ring, though, haven't you?
But I have got quite a warm ring myself, thank you. So while I appreciate your efforts,
I've got my bearskin cloak and stuff, so I'm pretty all right in the cold.
I think we'll come back to this perhaps another day.
Oh well. If you ever feel you need to trade in magical items again, don't be afraid to visit.
I dare say we will. And I tell you what, if you happen to find a more magical weapon for a gentleman, something with a bit more finesse, then I would certainly be more
okay.
interested.
I'll see what I can find, sir. I'll see what I can find.
A magical pike.
Very good. Then we'll bid you adieu.
Very well, sir.
Right. Well, hang on. What did he trade in? Just magical.
This guy had various potions and knickknacks for sale when you came here earlier, but he said all the really expensive stuff, all the decent stuff, you had to do a bit of searching for, basically.
They're rare and hard to come by.
Yeah.
Right. How many potions of healing and that have we got between us?
I have no healing potions.
I have one, and a potion of poison resistance.
Yeah, we've all got one of them.
Right, and I have one potion of healing.
Xanhorn's got healing word, so he can
Oh, okay.
redeem 1d4 plus my modifier.
So we could come back to him on the way back. Would he have potions of healing and stuff?
Yeah, potions of healing are a common item. So
Oh, okay, all right.
to
So
buy,
on the
yeah.
way back, on the way past, depending on what else we find while we're shopping.
I think this is pretty much the only shopping stop.
Oh, right, we're in the market, are we?
How much? Sorry, before we go, how much would a healing potion be?
Healing potion,
50.
common item, yeah,
Yeah.
50. Yeah.
50.
As you may have gathered, we're a little short on funds. It's been tough to come by as we've been rushing around saving the city.
Has he got any? Oh, sorry, go on.
I do have 40 gold on me. If you could accept that.
Sorry, sir. I can easily sell a potion of healing for 50 gold pieces to another customer.
Does he have any platinum rings?
He is obviously he's selling like magical curios and alchemist stuff, so he doesn't have any basic jewelry. But I'm sure, sir, you can find another stall in this vast market that will sell you some jewelry.
Right. So I might come back for a potion of healing in a bit. I'll just see what else is on the market. What else is around us? What's near the...
You are basically in probably the biggest market in all of the Sword Coast. If you want to buy anything, this is probably the place to buy it.
Right. So we're going somewhere cold. What do we need to buy? I have got... What have I got?
We'll have a hunt round for somewhere that sells some warmer clothes, some furs and that sort of thing.
Oh,
The city itself is quite warm. It is heated by a river which flows through a volcano.
That's true.
Hence the name Neverwinter.
Yes.
Oh,
But knowing
right.
our luck, we'll spend 5 minutes there.
I've got a couple of days worth of rations still. Rope. Hammer.
Xanhorn's going to try and find just some warmer boots, just to keep him
Okay.
warm while they're just in case they end up trudging through some snow, or whatever, and a fur of some sort.
Okay, that will come under the clothing.
Yeah.
So warm clothes will be considered common clothes. So they're 5 silver pieces.
All right, I would like to buy some of them then. Warm clothes.
Would you say my clothing's all right for cover?
You're a barbarian from the north. You know, Neverwinter's actually pretty down
I'm hard,
south.
am I?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
Yeah, I come from there. I'm fine.
it's just these soft southerners, these
Yeah.
these indoor bards. Right, I think
I'm gonna buy it. So, is there somewhere? Sorry, John. Were you still buying clothing?
no, I'm done. I think.
Okay. Is there somewhere where I can buy? Yeah. What was it? Hang on. There's my notes from last week. Platinum rings.
Platinum ring. A platinum ring is not a cheap item. You will be able to buy it.
Is it 50 gold?
For a platinum ring, no, you might need to add another couple of noughts to that.
I thought you needed. All right. I'm gonna look at Cenza. I thought you needed a couple of platinum rings to the value of 50 gold each.
Indeed, that is what I needed from the spell I'm thinking of. It's not one I have actually got prepared at the minute. It's just not a massive urgency.
Oh, okay. I was gonna buy them for you.
Oh right. I will
It
just.
sounded last
Very
week that it
generous.
was an important one to have.
We have
Yeah,
Rory waiting in the
platinum
wings.
rings worth at least 50 gold pieces each.
And you needed 2, didn't you?
At least 2, yeah.
Oh, right.
Ah, sorry, I'm getting confused. You're looking at a very simple platinum ring rather than
Yeah.
something too flashy, should we say?
Yeah. Can I get a couple of those for 50 gold each?
Yep, no problem.
So I'll buy those and I'll just give them to straight to Cenza, and I'll say I don't know what you need them for, but it sounded important.
Okay. I can share protective energy with whoever wears the other ring, increasing their chances of not being hit.
Oh, that sounds like I need that kind of help. Are you able to share it with? So if we had 3 rings, share it. Oh, so you wear one and someone else wears the other.
Yeah, and energy links for 2. And yeah, my.
And I guess as an action or something, or as a buy action, you could pass it round anyway.
The way I understand the spell is when I cast it, I create a link of energy.
Okay.
So we could all have them, and I could say cast it as an action to protect yourself, or and if that fails, to protect Xanhorn.
I don't know. Should we go for 2 for now and see how well the spell works?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that will clear me out if I buy another 2 rings.
Don't clear yourself out. You never know when you might need money.
Exactly, but I'm not. What's the word? I'm not that fussed about money, allegedly.
In character.
In character, yeah. Right, that was all. I was just going to do that good deed. I can't think of anything else for now, unless anyone can think of any just normal adventuring gear we could do with.
You still got your rope, right?
Let me just have a look. Yes, I have one roll of hempen rope still. And I've got some pitons. We could have used them to hammer it down, but anyway.
I think
Anything
we're good.
else?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
You are going
Let's-
to another city.
Let's
remember?
go and grab the
Okay.
horses, find that teleport point, and go and do some more incredible heroics.
Okay.
To the library.
No.
So,
Just out of character, it might be a good idea to like maybe do this sometimes and pool the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
so you head to the City of the Dead, the walled cemetery, which takes up a good chunk of Waterdeep. Actually, it's a pretty sizable thing. Where the young lady who had informed you of the teleportation circles is waiting at the gates for you. Without much of a word, but more just a polite nod, she guides you deep into the mass graveyard, where you come up to like a huge crypt, and she walks up to the crypt and just says the word quite loud, so obviously you can hear, Myrna.
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 Do I recognise that as being a word of some sort, or just
No,
magical garbage?
never heard the word before. Inside the crypt, the wall suddenly kind of comes alive, and this giant hulking kind of stone thing steps forward, and then moves to one side and lifts the lid on this sarcophagus, revealing steps going down into the ground underneath.
Fascinating.
And she just points and lid and says, "After you, gentlemen. The young lady inside will transport you to Neverwinter. Good luck."
Thank you. Xanhorn will say, feeling slightly nervous about walking down into this hole in the ground.
Yeah.
These people that we've only just met. But hey,
Benjin, you want to go first?
I'm quite happy to go first.
after you,
I'll
Benjin.
I will just ready my sword a little bit.
So you lead down the room you're going down into is already lit, so it's not like you're going down into the dark. You can see light coming ahead, and it opens out to another area that's like the full size of this crypt. And inside the floor, carved and etched onto the surface, is this ring, which is the exact replication of the thing you can see on that map you've been given. So all the symbols around the outside. And you can see just else in the room is like a little alcove where there's a little tiny desk and there's a bed. And this young wisp of a girl comes forward kind of meekly and goes, "Hello.
Hello.
Where to?"
Neverwinter.
Okay. Can you all stand in the middle of the circle, please?
Hang on, are we taking the horses down here with us?
You might be able to lead them. They're not keen on going down into there.
Yes.
Ben just whispers into the horse's ear. Does he have any horse whispering skills?
Animal handling roll? What are you trying to do?
We had
I don't
thought
know.
that
Get the horses to follow us.
Yeah, we had thought that we'd try and take them with us.
Okay.
Animal handling.
Nice.
So yeah, you've managed to coax the horses down the stairs.
Hey,
Whoa.
natural 20.
Oh, I
waste
see. So
them.
each of us did it to our own horse, did we?
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
managed to get the horses down into the crypt, and you're now standing in a circle. The young girl looks a bit kind of wary of the horses.
Easy,
And you're all
White
kind
Star.
of huddled
Easy.
together. You're all huddled together to try and get inside the circle. She says, "Hold on to your hats. And your horses.
This isn't going to be like the Fly, is it? We're not going to suddenly turn into people.
We're turning to centaurs.
Ooh, cool.
So she starts saying a couple of magical words, and you feel this sudden lurching sensation, and everything goes kind of black for a moment, and then wispy and cloudy. And then when the cloud clears, you're in a circle exactly the same, but rather than being on the stone floor of a mausoleum, you're on wooden floorboards. And there's this another young woman standing in front of you going, "What? Oh, sorry. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sandis.
Pleased to meet you.
I don't know how you're going to get them out of here.
Whereabouts in the city are we?
You take a little like analysis of your surroundings, and you realize you're in the attic of a building. And there's a ladder leading down into the floor below.
Xanhorn look at his horse and then look at the hole in the floor like, ah.
Do you think we
Benjin,
ought to send the horses back?
Benjin, have you got that rope?
Do any of us know the polymorph spell?
Nope. No. This is unfortunate.
I'm going to have to send them somewhere else, I'm afraid.
Could you... probably the best thing to do is send them back to Waterdeep.
With a note.
Yes, I'll send a message to Thestral and tell her to look after the horses. Oh my god, I don't know what she's going to do with these horses, the poor girl.
You really would have thought, I mean, when you do send the message, you might want to let her know that, you know, it might be polite to mention this in advance next time.
She's quite meek. Should we say that? She wouldn't have realised. She would have been too afraid to say something. Oh, yes, okay. Well,
Maybe just
I'll try
like
and
a
get her to
sign
look
on the
after them.
wall. No horses
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome to Neverwinter.
Well, thank you very much.
Ben turns round and notices his horse just start to lift his tail. I'll leave it to the imagination what happened.
As long as it's not biting us.
Okay, I'll send them back. Anyway, yes, welcome to Neverwinter. Please head down the stairs, and then the front door will take you out to the street.
Thank you, and sorry about that. I mean, unless we wouldn't have brought them if we'd known we'd be ending up here.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll descend the stairs.
Okay.
Let's keep this one out of the tails, shall we?
Oh, I don't know. It might make for a hilarious side note.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this as a handout because where have I gone? Where have I gone? So. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Oh. No.
Oh.
So you head down at the attic into the main house, and you can see again this is a kind of a study. There's books everywhere, magical artifacts and what have you. And then you head out of the front door, and you're in some kind of row house near the river. And so what this is like a terraced kind of house on the edge of the river where the basement has boats that can be stowed into it because the boat goes directly onto the river. So you are where you can see Castle Never, and you can see the signs in the Breach Leviathan. It's in that area there.
Yeah.
So you're kind of on the dock side.
I kind of feel at this point I'd start going, well, that's Castle Never, that's the Breach of Leviathan, and the House of Knowledge is down that way. And, oh, yes, my brother pushed me off that cliff when we were younger, but my great-grandfather, he managed, he was fantastic, he managed to come and catch me. And, yeah, I'd be, like, just going 10 for dozen.
Xanhorn will put his hands on Cenza's shoulders and just be like, and breathe.
Benjin says something like, and more importantly, where's the nearest tavern or whorehouse?
Well, the nearest tavern is but a few hundred yards away, the Breached Leviathan, which is quite literally a breached battleship which has been converted into a pub.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice. Can we see, when we look up in the sky, can we see the castle?
You can't. It's overcast, much like it was at in Waterdeep, so there's no sign of it yet, but you can't see what's the other side of that cloud cover.
Okay. I'll look at the other guys like, well, I guess the first thing to find out is how we can get up there,
What's
maybe?
the beer like? Oh, yeah, how can we get up there? Yeah.
I should probably head to the House of Knowledge to see my brothers and sisters.
Well, that certainly sounds like a good place to start.
Right. Is Rory in waiting, is he?
Yes, I am.
Ha-ha!
Yay!
No.
Ba-ba-ba.
I figured out how to mute him like after about 20 minutes. Oh, now I've got to figure out how to unmute him.
Oh, yeah, I've got the same problem as well. There we
Oh, there we go.
No.
Right
Thanks,
click on his
guys.
image. You
Hello.
left your microphone on. We heard everything.
What was it? Just a baby crying? Was it?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. No, right.
Taps
Okay.
running.
Right.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
Hello. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome back.
It's good to be here, guys. It's good to be here.
We've missed Havarl. We didn't die, but touch and go.
Yeah. 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 Wasn't nearly as bad as the incident with the giants, though, was it? Really?
That was pretty serious.
Yeah.
That was.
Just there we go. Okay.
Right. I'm going to do a little hand waving here and assume via the power of the sending message, which Cenza has got, you have heard that Havarl is not too far away and he's going to meet you at the Breach Leviathan or the House of Knowledge. It's your choice, really.
My choice.
Well, it's up to your guys' choice, really.
I would assume
Makes
that.
sense. Breach Leviathan makes the most sense to me.
Fair
It's
enough.
the easiest
Okay,
place to
Breach
find Benjin.
Leviathan.
All right then. Breach Leviathan.
So yes, the Breach.
So
Leviathan.
I look at the other two and go, yeah, there's a pub there. I think we should check that out first.
Yeah, all right. Benjin.
Yeah, it's best soothe the wild beast.
Tavern.
So, the Breach Leviathan is quite literally, it is a ship which is in kind of dry dock, which has been converted into a tavern. So you actually go in through the stern of the ship, and the entire inside of it has been turned into one large tavern area.
Cool.
And there you see your old companion Havarl sitting at a table. Off you go.
Hello, my
Ben
friends.
slaps him on the back and says, "How are you, old Havarl?"
And they're back.
I'm well. It warms my heart to see you all in one piece. You clearly had a very enjoyable shopping visit to Waterdeep.
Yes.
It's good to see you again, Havarl.
I'll
Yes.
clap
Ben
my hand.
Benjin says to the others, "Right, drinks all round." Doesn't wait for a response and heads to the bar to get them.
Okay, I hand to Val his gold from selling the inheritance.
Oh, thank you. So you got the inheritance, and what of the Lord's Alliance?
Yes. They were interesting. Let us say that.
Hmm.
So
Well,
will they be of any help with these dragons?
they seem reluctant.
Okay. So we're on our own.
For now, at least.
No.
I mean, we've had some interest. We met a charming young lady from the Harper's organisation. In fact, she's the reason we got here. We teleported.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
Quite an interesting sensation.
Yes. It was, I suppose, very fortunate that you didn't get magically merged with your horses.
How did you know about the
We
horses?
wouldn't be stupid enough to bring the horses with us. Come on, we're smarter than that.
Only an idiot would take the horses.
Has Benjin reached the bar yet? Is there much of a queue? What's the barkeep like?
It's quite early in the day, so it's still like about 11 a.m. So it's relatively quiet.
Okay. So I just asked the barkeep for 4 of his finest ales.
Benjin, water for me.
I'm too far away.
That man, he can't get my name right. He doesn't remember my drink.
Xanhorn will be like, I'm not 100% sure it's not personal, but...
Would you have him any other way?
Yes. Yes, I would.
How much is that?
Whatever it says in the player's handbook. I can't remember.
Oh. 4 beers.
Not a lot.
How was your trip to the Temple of Helm?
Helm's Hold. It was.
Helm's Hold, yes.
It wasn't as useful as I had hoped. The Gilded Eye are not prepared for giants. They're demons and other wickedness. And giants are not really their forte. However, they have told me that there's been frost
4
giant
copper
attacks
pieces from mug of ale.
up and down the coast. They've asked us to patrol the roads, find out where they're coming from.
Right. So we encountered a rather unique dragon expert.
Yeah, he was a character.
Yes. This was the one that delightful young sorceress told us about.
Yes.
Chasworth Yanghorn.
Yes. He was talking absolute bollocks.
He did have a dragon,
He
though,
seems
so
to
must be
think.
some sort of expert.
Yes. He seems to think our best option is to form a partnership, possibly even alliance, with an ancient worm, which could probably eat us all in a single gulp.
I too feel like that would be a bad idea.
Being eaten, definitely not good. However, making a pact with Old Norbone, as she's known, a green dragon, in the Clipdraw Forest is probably our best option if we're going to form some sort of an alliance. The other guys, Klauth, the whatever he was, despicable, merciless, something like that.
He's the one that we met. We met some Klauth guys.
Yes, the cultists.
That's it. Yeah, we had the stone, the eye.
Yes.
Zephyrus has it.
Zephos has the eye, I believe. Yes.
Okay. Okay. He seemed like bad news as well. Okay.
And a blue dragon, Imrith, also known as Doom of the Desert.
I was going to say I like the color blue, but maybe not so much.
Yeah. It
No, I
does
hear the
sound...
bronze ones are much nicer.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we met one, didn't we?
So
We did.
Do we need the help of a dragon?
I think when it comes...
Dragons are the giant's natural enemies.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, type of thing.
Very
Indeed.
much so.
Okay.
So we need to... I think we need to try and, at some point, get one on our side, but possibly the more pressing item that we need to sort out is we need to find the Orb of Dragon kind.
Okay. What does that do and where is it?
Yes, good
It
questions.
controls chromatic dragons, I believe Mr. Bollocks Talker told us.
It allows you to
and-
take on some dragon abilities as well.
Yes, yes. And it's somewhere in this city.
Okay. So we just need to go find a magical stone somewhere in the city that lets us become dragons.
Yeah, something like
Yes.
that. I mean, it's less harebrained than some of the schemes we've come up with.
Absolutely, yes. This is a fairly mundane task, I suppose. Okay.
Has the barman come with the beers yet?
Yes, and the
No, I'm
interesting
still at
thing
the
you
bar.
noticed about the barman is he's got a wooden leg.
Oh, brilliant.
Arr.
So it's
It's-
four copper pieces a beer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just give him 4, 4, 16. So I just give him 2 silver and ask him bar snacks like pork scratchings or anything as well.
It's a very much you're on the dock side, so he brings you out a bowl of cockles.
Okay.
Okay, that'll do.
So I take the 4 beers and the cockle back to the table. I grab a bit of a handful of the cockles and just kind of shove them in the beer. Hand the beers round.
Xanhorn's just going to look at Benjin aghast, like, he didn't even take the shells off.
Yeah.
They're a regional specialty. You should take your time with them, Benjin.
Oh. They're good as he picks a bit of shell out and
So you clearly didn't manage to lose, Benjin, then.
He's
I felt I left pretty clear instructions.
we're nothing without
Benjin bites his lip pretending he didn't hear.
we're nothing without our Benjin.
I jest, my friend. So then, gentlemen, it's 11 a.m. The day is long, and we are rested and ready to go. Where do we begin our search?
Personally, I believe the House of Knowledge is a good place to start. My brothers and sisters in the clergy of Ogma will know of the Orb of Dragonkind.
One would hope that they would be knowledgeable living there, yes.
Indeed, yes. Admittedly, my returning from a walkabout after a couple of months may be interesting. After all, pilgrimages are meant to last a little longer than that. But I'm not planning on stopping there.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else interesting in the bar? In the
It's quite
tavern, sorry.
interesting. What kind of thing are you looking out for?
What are the characters like? Is there anything out of place? Anything unusual?
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay.
You're right there, John.
Yeah, my beer's just gone bang.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Did Benjin slam it down too hard on the table? Perception check. There we go.
So the tavern you're in is obviously quite common with seafaring folk. You can tell by the kind of weathered skins and such like that. You know, people have been working outdoors, so you can see what you think of are some sailors on some tables, some dock workers on others. Generally, it all seems to be that there's one or two tables with individuals that seem a little bit out of place, but then again, you look at a place in here, if that makes sense.
Okay. Does anyone want to say like hello to any of the sailors?
no.
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 Yeah, be it everywhere, John.
It appears that way, doesn't it?
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh. Is there any kind of like tavern drinking challenge? Maybe one that involves walking walking the plank or something like that?
It's
Ben,
quite
it's
early.
11 a.m.
Yeah, it's quite early in the day, so it's not quite as boisterous at this point in time. It just tends to be some people just whiling away the hours. At this point.
Benjin's just thinking for later. That's all.
Just imagine your Weatherspoons in the morning kind of thing.
Oh well, the
So
wooden
you
leg
think it's
makes
full of old
complete
boys.
sense now. Then I'll say to Cenza, the barman. He's got a wooden leg.
Yes.
That's not the strange bit.
No.
His wooden leg had webbed toes. Have you
Like
ever
those
seen a
of-
wooden leg with webbed toes?
He had it carved that way. He's got about 6. He changes them out every day.
Oh. Benjin pretends he knows what he means. He just nods and agrees. He's like, I'm still confused.
Well, wouldn't you want to change if you had a wooden leg?
Well, yeah.
Xanhorn just nodded off for a
Suppose
second.
so.
Wait, what? Where are we?
Benjin downs the rest of his pint and says to the others, well, come on then.
Well,
What are you guys waiting for?
he's finished. Let's go.
Okay, to the House of Knowledge.
Okay.
You guys not even going to touch your beers?
Xanhorn's going to look at his beer on the floor that he's just knocked over.
Oh, yeah. Actually, right, Xanhorn's knocked his over in game. Benjin looks at him in disgust.
Yes,
was an
I
accident.
should probably be sober when I return.
Oh, God.
And Benjin, once again, I do not drink.
All right. I will remember
This
this
means you
one
can
day.
down them.
Oh. Should I? Okay, all right. Chug. 3 by 11 in the morning.
Standard morning for Benjin, right?
It really is like a trip to Weatherspoons.
Yeah, and he takes another mouthful of crunchy cockles and doesn't realise what the little wood tail sticks are for.
Okay, so you head up the hill past Castle Nether, over the Dolphin Bridge towards the House of Knowledge. Now, I should say that Neverwinter it's an interesting city from where you are. It's nowhere near as big as Waterdeep, but it's still got a kind of bustle to it that you'd expect from a big city. People going about their business. But one thing you do notice over the history, and this is something Cenza knows pretty well, the place has had several disasters, like natural disasters. And you can see signs of this every so often with like a wall collapsing or one of the bridges falling apart. But there's scaffolding everywhere. People are rebuilding, and people are just generally around trying to, get the town up and running. There's a definite buzz about the place. If you can imagine, like Waterdeep is a bit like London. Everyone's kind of introverted to themselves, whereas Neverwinter seems to have you can almost feel this kind of spirit of like, oh yeah, we're going to sort this out and we're going to fix it as you walk through the streets. This is also apparent when you get to the House of Knowledge, because it's obvious at one point this was a fantastic temple to dedication to Ogmar with stained glass windows, and you can see that at some point a lot of damage has been done to this building, and again the scaffolding around it as people are working to rebuild it.
Okay,
This is an
before we
impressive
head
place,
in,
Cenza.
it was more impressive in the past. I have spent the last 17 years of my life living and studying here, trying to rebuild the great knowledge that was lost in the many calamities that have struck Waterdeep. I must ask that you show restraint and respect whilst we are inside.
Xanhorn like elbow him like, oh come on, when have we ever not shown that? And then he'll look at Benjin.
Still crunching on the cockles.
Yeah.
Dare I ask what we may need to restrain ourselves from? Or is it that we need to restrain Benjin?
Well, I was thinking more sarcastic comments and yes, restrain Benjin.
Okay, understood.
So you head into the House of Knowledge. It's a bustle of activity as people are obviously sorting through things, and there's documentation. It's almost like you're heading into a big library, and the first thing you see are like desks which people are going up to try and exchange information and such like.
And I just think, it's our home. It's lovely. Look at all the books.
Which way, Cenza?
Down stack A42, take a right, then the second left, the up 3 flights of stairs, then back here, and we should be at the head docent's office.
So we'll just follow you then.
Just about took the words out of my mouth, Havarl. It's good to have you back.
So yeah, it's quite of a bizarre place for those who haven't been there, because it is both a huge library of epic scale that's kind of been built into. Don't worry, I'll put some music on, Rory.
Oh, I thought the dogs had done something in the other room.
Damn it. It's both a massive temple, so there's priests around, there's priests praying, there's stained glass windows coming up, but at the same time also it is like an enormous library with books and scrolls and what have you, stacked across all, shelf upon shelf, and there are people quietly. It's that kind of hush of a library, like shh, as people are looking for information, stacking it. At the same time, you've got builders and renovators all around as well. Following Cenza's guidance, he sends you to this kind of office at the back, which has on the door, I know you can see it everywhere, the scroll of Ogmar, which is the silver scroll symbol that you've seen on Cenza's clothing and what have you.
Okay, so my knock on the door, head docent.
Yes.
Are you available?
A secretary you recognise straight away comes to the door and goes, "Have an appointment?"
I'm afraid not. I have returned temporarily from my pilgrimage of knowledge. We require information, and obviously, as a devotee of Ogmar and myself.
You can hear a voice in the background. Is that you, Cenza?
It is, head docent. How are you?
Come in.
Thank you, sir. And I usher everyone else in. The ritual prayer to Ogmar.
So, I wasn't expecting you back here so soon.
No, events have taken a turn, as you may say. I pull out the book I've been noting everything down in and sort of give him a brief overview. So, Modge on invasion of Waterdeep, poisoning, all
fascinating.
Oh, absolutely fascinating. Please allow me to introduce my friends and allies in the Champion of Chance. Xanhorn, the self-styled Magnificent. Havarl, Paladin of Helm, and Benjin of the Ulfgard tribe.
Benjin wipes his hand on his bearskin and goes to shake it really uncomfortably, but trying his hardest.
He shakes your hand, and he's got what would describe as a limp lettuce handshake.
I must say, Benjin has shown me the animal communication rituals of Ulfgard tribe, and they are absolutely fascinating. The way they invoke the spirits of the larger of the fish, while the smaller, and then encase them. Fascinating.
Well, it's good to hear that you are gaining Ogmar's knowledge. I hope you are spreading Ogmar's gift as well.
I try to. It has been a most trying time, unfortunately. You have heard of the giant attacks. We have.
Yes, we've heard rumours of such things up and down the Sword Coast.
We have found ourselves tied up with the Lord's Alliance, trying to find a solution. And
I see.
The Orb of Dragonkind has been mentioned.
He raises an eyebrow at this point. Oh. Very interesting.
Indeed.
Indeed, and where better to find knowledge and wisdom of an ancient artifact than the Grand Cathedral of the House of Knowledge?
Well, as per usual, Cenza, you've come to the right place in more ways than one, I do believe.
Thank you.
Why are you so interested in such an artifact?
Dragons and giants are natural enemies, and we believe the giants are interested in the Orb of Dragonkind themselves. We are hoping to get to one of them first to strike a decisive blow to the giants' plans.
Interesting. And you believe there's one in the nearest vicinity?
Indeed.
Somewhere in Neverwinter.
Somewhere in Neverwinter, at least. Given the work the church has carried out in the reconstruction of the city, surely even the smallest of clues must be in here.
He taps the desk a minute and goes, well, I believe I can help you and I can't help you. Because I think I know where this thing is that everyone rumours, where everyone thinks there's an Orb of Dragonkind here.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
Yes, but I don't think it's going to be as helpful as you first think. Come with me, please. He goes and gets a large set of like jangling keys. Just follow me and heads down at the office, down a few stairs, takes an exit that takes him down into the basement, and then he takes like a almost labyrinthine route through collapsed doorways, and you can see that down here things have like shifted, and every so often has to pick your way around kind of a little bit of rubble or something like that.
At all.
And
Press that mute button, Rory.
He eventually leads you to this door, which you can see at one point may have been quite an ornate door, but obviously with things that happened, like it's obvious this place has been a while since it's been cleaned out. And he gets the key and unlocks this door, pushes it open, and leads you into a small gallery. It's like there's two walls with paintings on either side, but taking up one major part of the main wall directly opposite the door is a painting which, from a distance, you can see several dragons on. And he kind of points it and goes, well, this is the only reference we have, well, that I know of, to the Orb of Dragonkind.
Very interesting.
Gives you quite a closer look at the painting, and the painting shows 5 dragons, one of each of the chromatic colours. So black, red, blue, green, and white. And they're all clasping something in the middle of the painting, and it appears to be a piece of jade or emerald that's in the shape of an orb, and there's a dragon's claw on each. One of each of the claws holding onto this orb. He goes, this unfortunately did not survive to this area, though fairly well down. We've had to move it because the original gallery didn't fare well after the troubles of the volcano and what have you and the earthquakes.
No, I seem to recall it was quite badly damaged, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't just the damage. We heard originally there were 6 paintings in this set, but as you can see here, there are only 5 at the moment. And he points to
6 paintings.
There's 4. There's like the big painting that you can see of the dragon, and 4 other paintings on the wall.
What does the other paintings have on them?
So the paintings you can see, the paintings that are on the walls have got. Hang on a brief second. I will get to it. So one has got it's like a castle with a man in Priests of Ogmar robes with a lute, and he appears to be serenading a lady in the top tower.
Xanhorn will peer a bit closer at that one.
Another one shows like a central plaza in a set of gardens, like a park, and the children are all sitting round upset. And there's a large cage next to them that's empty. The third one shows a cart being pulled through a city street, a busy city street, but most of the people that are in the city street have been kind of blurred and out of focus in the painting. And the cow pulling the cart appears to be, almost skin and bones. And two people are on the cart and sitting in it, and they all look kind of ill and diseased. And then the last one is like a stone amphitheatre with what appears to be kind of distorted chickens circling round and some kind of actor on the stage.
Interesting. And
then there's a
little disturbing.
slot. There's a slot where an empty painting was.
Can I make a history check to see if these represent any historical happenings to the city, like plagues or anything like those lines?
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
They appear to be different areas that you can see within Neverwinter. They appear to be local areas of those that are obvious, but also they could be quite generic. The castle doesn't look familiar at all. The gardens could be; they do look vaguely familiar, and so does the city street. The amphitheatre does not.
The paintings look like anything we've seen anywhere else.
They don't look familiar to you, no.
No.
Is there any sort of overwhelming colour to each of the paintings? Like, is one kind of a white-ish painting, one a red, sort of matching the chromatic dragon colours?
Yeah, the artist has definitely taken a limited palette, and yes, you would say that, yeah. So the
obvious question. Next question: which one's missing?
The green one is missing. So there's one with a lot of black hues. So the old castle is quite the old castle with the priest serenading the girl in the tower. Is quite black in the way it's got the shadows of the tower and such like. The gardens are full of red flowers. The hues of the sky are predominantly blue in the cow-drawn cart, and the chicken things are white, and there's white clouds everywhere.
Are the paintings signed at all?
You can make out a signature at the bottom, yeah, but it's not in a script you recognise.
Asking the docent then, do you know who painted these?
Unfortunately not. We don't have any records on these at all.
Do you remember what was in the final picture at all?
I believe it was a gnome, the records say. A gnome wrapping presents, I think the records say.
Okay.
It was stolen, unfortunately, just a couple of years ago.
How very strange.
Unfortunately, we
Are
haven't
there any
had the
suspects?
Oh, we just think it was some youths, probably part of the Red Larch gang or something along those lines.
Those troublemakers again.
Yes. Unfortunately, we've not had the resources to go find it.
What makes you think it was this Red Larch gang?
Oh, they've been trying to steal things before, but they'd broken in a few times and they'd stolen the odd trinket, like a goblet or something like that. I think they were hoping for something more valuable here, and the most valuable things in the House of Knowledge is, well, knowledge.
Quite.
And that's not something you can really sell for a profit. Well, if you're a street gang member, that is.
If a street gang were to sell this, where would be the best place to do so?
Oh, I must say I don't know. I'm not the kind of person who would be aware of such things.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply that you were.
Oh, no, nothing's
I'm-
taken.
I'm simply trying to ascertain where would they go and who would be the best person to ask. What I think we need is one of those shady individuals, probably half the height of a normal person.
Well, you probably want to head towards the. If you head towards the poorer parts of town, I'm sure you could find it no problem.
That may be another avenue worthy of investigation. I'm sure this
Quite.
gang wouldn't be held onto it. They would have tried to fleece it as soon as possible.
You'd hope so, yeah.
That would seem logical.
They could also have stolen it on orders. The nobility here, when they see something they want, mere legislation does not always stop them.
But I suppose the question has to be asked, what can we gain from returning this now? I mean, time is incredibly precious.
Indeed.
Quite.
It would appear that these paintings are some sort of riddle or clue as to the location.
Yes. The larger painting certainly implies that the Orb of Dragonkind is the unification of the energies or powers of the 5 chromatic dragons.
Is there an order of chromatic dragons? Should these paintings be viewed in a particular... I mean, are they arrayed in that order? You know, a riddle has to have a first line and a last line.
Well,
so
yes,
one is the
indeed.
first.
Or
Castle, plaza, streets, an amphitheatre.
Well, gentlemen, unfortunately,
Yeah.
this is fascinating. I can't stay here all day, so if you need me, I'll be back in my office dealing with day-to-day duties. I'll leave the door open for you.
Thank you, Chief Docent. Always a pleasure to see you.
very kind of you.
Thank you for your assistance. This central picture, is one claw bigger than the other? Is one at the top? Have we worked around clockwise, or
They're all kind of around it. They seem to go in order of green, starting at like 12 o'clock.
no, Steve? That's not very helpful. Green's the one that's missing.
No, that's the hand on the.
I know.
Yeah.
I was being
Green.
facetious.
Oh, sorry, green. So they go in the order of green, black, blue, red, white. Is that right? Yes, green, black, red, blue, white.
Green, black, red, blue, white.
So,
So,
just thinking out loud, but if these
No.
things all point to places on the map, maybe if we were to draw lines between these things, it would
yes,
point
quite
to a
right.
location. So we've got
So
a Castle Never, maybe.
Castle Never would make sense.
but then there's also the priest. I mean, there's the singing priest. Is that? It
That
was a
could
priest,
imply the
wasn't
House
it?
of Knowledge if he's an Ogmanite priest.
Yeah, that's
But
two
then
points.
but then the singing. Why would a Ogman priest be singing?
Yeah, Ogmar is also the god of bards.
Okay, that's okay. Well, then.
So that would be reasonable knowledge to you guys as well.
So okay, so it could also be that then.
Yeah. A central plaza in a park. There are any number of green spaces within the city, certainly within the more affluent sections. The potentially blue-hued sky. There is the Blue Lake in the Blue Lake district.
Well, isn't the blue one the cow? Was it? Sorry, did I hear?
The cow, yes,
Cow pulling a cart.
Yes, but that could also imply the pauper section of the city where the graveyard is. And the stone amphitheatre doesn't ring a bell, I'm afraid. I'm not aware of one within the city.
What else is in the picture of that one? Sorry, that's the one with the chickens.
So
That's for the
which one?
chickens. The amphitheatre.
The amphitheatre picture.
Xanhorn's going to try and just do some little sketches of these pictures to take with him, so that if we need to ask around somewhere.
Okay, so which one are you going to look up? You just start with your sketching.
I just try and sketch the 4 that we can see, basically.
Okay, so what you're kind of in the middle of the room at this point, and you can see that you're just seeing the kind of looking round, and you can see there's a lot more detail in the paintings than what you can see from here.
Okay, let's have one at a time then. So
Okay, so
I was going to say, let's start with the red one.
the red one. So the red one was the public gardens. So from what you can see here, it's a central plaza bordered by what appears to be a large cathedral on one side and a tavern on the other, and the empty cage is
Cage or
near
cave?
Cage.
Ah, I had that wrong.
All right. There's a man with a music box sitting on the ground beside the cage, and the children are kind of frantic and running in all directions. It's just a painting, but you're pretty sure you can see movement in the painting.
Okay.
Did you
While
guys-
Xanhorn's doing this, can I do a ritual cast of Detect Magic? Which will take me 10
yeah.
minutes.
Does Benjin spot this and think that he's had too much to drink?
That's you notice that, but then you swear you see one of the other paintings moving slightly as well. And you're all like, did anyone else see that? Because I've just had 4 pints at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Cenza, yes.
Can anyone else see these
all the
paintings
paintings are magical.
Ooh.
Okay. Do they because Detect Magic shows auras, is there any specific areas on the paintings, or is it just the entire thing?
The entire painting is magical,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Right,
Can we-
paintings are magical, chaps. This is
Can Benjin? Did you say like one of them's got some people in?
So there's
One of the
several of
paintings
them have got people
has
in.
got some
Several have
people
got
in it.
people in. There's the picture of the castle has got this priest singing to a woman. The public gardens has got kids and like an old man fallen over. The cow-drawn cart has got people sitting on the cart and walking alongside it.
So because they've moved, Benjin's just going to try saying hello, just literally like hello, and see if he gets any response from like a person in the painting.
Well, I'm glad he tried it.
No,
Nothing.
no.
But
Oh.
Benji,
okay.
why didn't you try knocking on it?
Benjin would probably end up putting his fist through it.
Okay, I'm going to go up to the red-hued one, the one with the empty cage and the kids.
Yeah.
Place my hand on it, take out the pearl I bought last episode, and cast Identify, which lets me learn the properties of a magic-imbued item and how to use it.
Ooh.
Nice.
As you cast the spell, you learn these something unusual you've not heard before, and all you learn is that there's a keyword, which is using this spell teaches you to say, and it could be the name of the artist, or it could be something else. But you just learn a word and learn that this is a key of some description.
Right. Okay, so
You're saying that
is it a specific keyword, or am I just making one up?
Yeah, you learned the command word for this
So-
the painting.
Okay. I'm going to go over to the blue-hued painting and do exactly the same.
Again,
Is it the same command word?
it's the same command word. Yes.
Okay. Right, they've all got a command word.
Okay.
Do you know it?
Well, it's I don't think it makes any sense in common. And it's not a language I recognise, and I recognise many.
All right.
I wonder if we need all of the paintings together for it to work. Because you just said that and nothing happened, right? Right, Steve?
Yeah.
And the dragon descends.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay,
So we need
But
that painting.
you do know for the identify that you've just said it in the middle, but you do know you'd have to make some kind of contact with the painting before you say the command word.
Okay. Do we want to have a go at it, chaps?
What's the worst that could happen? And
We get
Xanhorn was-
sucked into a painting and get stuck there for the rest of our unnatural lives.
Okay.
But
Seems pretty
there's
unlikely.
There's 4 paintings. Do we need to each be touching one and saying the word?
There's 5 paintings in a set in total.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost wondering, do we all, if one of us is touching a painting, do we all link together, say the word, see what happens?
In the
Let's-
picture,
let's-
there's 5 dragons all putting their hands on one thing. So why don't we all put our hands on the middle one?
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
So
Okay.
which painting are you touching?
The big one, the central one.
The big one.
The one in the centre.
Oh, have we checked that one to see if that one's magic?
I'd still be able to see it, I assume, because it's a
Yeah,
table as well.
All of them
Oh,
are
that
magical.
all.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Cenza plate. So you all place your hands on the painting, the dragons, and you say the command word.
Blah, 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 blah.
You can sense something is trying to happen, but there's a definite boom push back.
We need the last painting.
Yeah.
We assume. Okay. Well, let's go fetch it.
So, the Red Larch Gang.
Well, do we want to go after the Red Larch Gang who stole it a few years ago? Want to try and find out if they sold it somewhere and go straight to.
Yes.
If we find the most likely pawn shop that deals in stolen goods. Ask them the right questions in the right way.
Xanhorn
What do you
will
think?
Smile
Yeah.
like,
I
I'm
With
gonna
a
ask
sword.
questions.
This is-
think Xanhorn's a master of asking questions.
But this is your city, so you'd be best to advise us. Do we go for?
To be honest, there's only one shop I know, and that's the one run by my family. I joined the temple when I was only about 15. I lived here for 17 years
Maybe the deacon
before
would
I
know.
left. Possibly. We tend to be a very insular group.
You do know that the kind of just the Protectorate Enclave, which is where the House of Knowledge is pretty. You'd know of some unsavory taverns in that area, but the general poor area is where the Great Rend was, which was basically knocked down 50 years ago. That's where most of the damage was. That's the poorest area of the city.
Okay.
Well,
Cenza would know of some unsavory taverns because he'd been told not to go there.
Or should we maybe just go find the city watch and ask them where the best place to go?
I think
The City Watch in Neverwinter are. How shall I put this? They're mercenaries.
Yes.
Their loyalty is to coin, not necessarily to the law, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm not after their abilities to
So
law
they could
keep.
be
I'm after their
bought.
ability. They can be bought.
They can be bought, yes. Is what I'm saying.
Yes, well, if all we
But
need is the name of a shop or the name of an individual, we do the law for them.
Indeed. I have to say, my own encounters with them, I've never come across them. Never come off particularly well. They tend to punch first and ask questions later.
This is exactly the point. You don't
Oh,
know.
well, I'll speak to them then.
Yes.
If you don't know of the unsavory places in town, then they certainly will.
Yes, I see your point.
I'm after that kind of dark knowledge that you try and avoid.
Yes, quite. Nasty stuff.
Hmm.
let's start there then.
Or do we go straight for the Red Larch Gang?
I can't see them having kept it. I believe they're mainly teenage thugs. I suspect they would have palmed it off as soon as they could for gold.
Okay.
Let's start with the watch.
Let's start with a watch. Okay.
So
Off we tot.
Is
yes,
there anything else you want to look at with these paintings or not yet?
if we just try and scribble down the signature of the that we've seen on the other painting.
The signature is the same word as the command word.
Okay, so we'll just
Okay.
scribble that down like a copy so that we could.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
I just played a happy little dragon.
So as we go outside the House of Knowledge, I'm gonna mount my horse, which came with me,
Yes, everyone else is on foot.
and just trot along beside.
Right, so where are you guys heading then?
Forgotten how smug he was.
We're heading for the City Watch.
Okay, so City Watch will tend to be at the near the bridges. Is a good place to find them. So you are not far from Dolphin Bridge. So called because the stones going all along the bridge are carved into shapes of dolphins splashing in and out the river water.
How do we want to tackle this then, chaps? Are we just going to pay for the information? Are we going to try and charm them, Xanhorn, intimidate them, me, or other?
Let's start with some chat.
Benjin.
Okay, you lead the way then, Xanhorn. This line of questioning.
I'll stroll up to the nearest guard and
Yeah, so unlike as Cenza has alluded to, unlike Waterdeep, where you have strict uniformed guards, many of which often have a mask as well, or highly polished, it's quite obvious that the guards here are not guards, but general kind of paid for mercenaries, as he said. So there's none of that uniformness to them. They're still diligent. You can still see they're doing their job, but there's a little bit of slightly they're not quite as kind of on point as the Waterdeep guards are when you're there.
okay.
So there's a couple standing on the edge of the bridge watching people come back and forth, rather than standing kind of at attention. They're kind of standing with their arms folded and just keeping their eye out for any trouble, really.
Xanhorn will walk up confidently but kind of casually and just say, "Morning."
All right.
We're interested in acquiring a painting. Would you happen to know where an interested party, might acquire such an item?
Can't say I know much about painting.
Not necessarily paintings, just where one might acquire, let's say, carefully acquired artifacts that someone may have lost. And Xanhorn will sort of wink at him.
You after some stolen goods?
Well, if you're going to be that blunt about it, then yes.
I should really lock you up. Asking a guard that.
Well, you see, we've had something stolen from us, and we're trying to find out who might have acquired it.
Ah, right. I get you.
Xanhorn will just go to shake his hand, making it clear that there's something in it for him, with a silver piece under his thumb.
He shakes your hand and takes the silver piece. Well, I don't know. You reckon you want to try with the tower? Well, there's an art dealer, isn't there, down the road? What was his name? Bogsworth, something like that. I'd ask him first.
Okay.
And then you might want to try some of the more unsavoury taverns on around. But I'd try him first.
If we were to try one of these unsavory taverns, which would be the most unsavory?
Well, anyone apart from the Beach Leviathan on the beachfront, or just head Just head to where you hear the fighting.
That's a pretty good indication. Thank you for your time.
Very useful.
Thank you.
And have a pleasant day. Night, Amanda. I love the fact he's a Scouser.
Yeah, not all Neverwinters are Scousers.
Or are they?
Okay.
No.
So we're looking for an art dealer then, are we, on Bodsworth on the main road?
Yeah, does the name ring any bells?
You know the Rush district which he's talking about. So in fact, it would probably not be far from your parents' shop.
Great.
Let's just not be seen, eh, Cenza? Wouldn't want to get in
Yeah.
trouble.
No.
You
Yeah, I'm
get on
kind
with your
of flashing
parents?
back. I get on fine with my parents. It's my brother I don't particularly get on with.
Well, you can tell him that you've spent the night in the room of a woman reading books. I'm sure you'll pip him to the post.
So to
I'm
speak.
afraid not.
You don't.
Is this
see
the
eye to
sort
eye
of,
with your brother?
Well, see, the thing is, we're twins, and
There's
kind
another
of
one. I mean,
no, he's if I got the brains in the family, he's got more of your style, Xanhorn. He talks the talk and walks the walk, I believe you'd say. And he's generally a bit of an insufferable
Zador's so
arsehole.
happy with it.
He's a bit of a what?
An insufferable arsehole.
oh,
Ah,
hang on a minute.
Not
He
not
sounds nothing
not
like
quite
me.
Fandarian. No, not quite Fandarian like.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 5 out of 10, but still insufferable.
So not like me then.
No,
Someone's looking
no.
genuinely
Nothing
confused
like
now.
You and him are both charismatic.
That I understand.
So if we can avoid any textile merch, then that would be appreciated.
okay.
I
That's
really wanted some silk underwear as well. I'm starting to feel this town living.
Benjin's getting a taste for it.
Hmm.
okay.
Well, let's go find an art dealer.
Okay, based on Cenza's directions, because he's pretty sure he knows where this store is. You go further into the Protector's Enclave and do find an area where shops selling paintings and art of such like, and find a shriveled little curator of a man inside, kind of touting his wares. As soon as you go into the store, he goes, "Oh, hello, welcome to my shop. I'm Bodsworth.
Yeah, nice
How
to
can I
meet
be
you,
of
my good man.
assistance?"
We are after a very specific painting.
Well, what tastes are you after, gentlemen? He kind of looks coming up and down and then looks at Benjin and goes, "Yeah, okay."
Don't mind.
Has he got any nudie sculptures in there?
There's going to be the odd sculpture of a young maiden in a what appears.
Benjin will literally find the closest one and pick it up. And sort of look at it quite closely. I'm guessing he feels quite uncomfortable, Benjin.
Yeah, he does a
handling the
little
wares.
bit. How may I be of assistance?
Benjin just pretends to drop it a little bit and then puts it back down.
Well, as I say, we're looking for a painting, and we don't want to trouble you. Don't want to be here very long, but this painting was stolen, and
How dear.
indeed troubling, I know. And we were hoping to perhaps reacquaint its owner with its property.
Can you tell me anything about this painting?
So the painting I'll show him is by this, we believe, by this painter, and I'll show him the.
Yeah.
It's a painting of
of a gnome.
A gnome,
believe.
that was it.
A gnome that appears to be wrapping presents and is in verdant green
Oh.
tones.
Oh, that. Oh, yes, that does sound familiar.
Oh, very good. You
Oh,
You seen it then?
Oh, this was an atrocity to art. Oh, it was the most twee and garish thing you've ever seen in your life.
That's the one.
Mhm.
I mean,
sent
there's
that.
no accounting for some taste, is there?
Well, no, a bunch of youths come in trying to sell it to me. They'd obviously got it by unsavory means. Sent them packing.
Hmm. Do you have any idea where they would have gone?
Oh, I kept an eye on them in case they tried anything, so I kind of kept an eavesdrop to the door after they've left, and they argued and said, when I said it was worth nothing, they argued it themselves, and one of them, he said his auntie would probably love it. Oh, now what did they call him? What did the rest of them call him? They went, "Oh, sod it, yes, you have it, you little." Oh, what was it? Cackwand or something like that.
Cackwand.
Cockwind.
Ah, that's it. Yes, Cockwind.
Oh, for
That's what they
God's
called
sake,
him.
knows what again.
Realization comes over on Benjin that
Cockwind's got it.
oh,
Or
for
Cockwind had it.
fuck's sake.
I assumed that this Cockwind was he by any chance a halfling?
Yes, that's him.
Very good. And how this was a few years ago.
Yeah, about a year ago, 18 months ago, something like that, maybe.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. You've been a great help, actually. Thank you.
Yes, most useful indeed. And I'll take the statue away from Benjin carefully and put it down. Right.
Thank you.
As I walk past it, I'll get a little hanky or something, wipe it. Take the drool.
I just say to I say to him that I basically say, well, she's got very realistic boobies, but I prefer them bigger.
And with that, we'll walk out.
All right, gents, I'm firing.
Right.
Sending
Who's
spell.
got the
then?
sending spell?
Bloody Cockwind.
A sending spell, you say?
Yes, I
yes.
can send a message of 25 words to anyone we know. I've been using it to troll Arrakis. It's been quite fun.
Oh, good. I wasn't lonely at all, by the way.
Oh, we assumed
You
you
have to admit,
on mission.
winding up the tiefling, though.
It was worth every sending spell for the last 10 days.
Okay, firing up the sending spell.
Okay.
Cockwind. Painting of a gnome wrapping presents. Green. Who did you fence it to in Neverwinter? Please reply very soon. Yes, kick Vandarian in shins.
I'd have gone with Todger, but yeah.
Yeah, well, he can't reach. He can't kick up that high, can he?
That's a good point.
So you get a message back was not stolen. Auntie. Give it to Auntie on. I've got street names for Neverwinter Street, whatever that. Don't tell her I stole it, or you're dead.
You broke up in the middle of there, Steve. What was the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave it to Auntie.
So give it to Auntie, and he gives you an address. So he gives you a street name, and it says, "Don't tell her I stole it."
Okay.
By the way, does he realise he has said in a space of 25 words, didn't steal it, and then admitted he stole it?
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah.
You're breaking up again, Steve. What was that?
No, it was.
Yeah. I'm struggling with breakups.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
like internet
Yeah.
pausey.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's head to this street, Cockwind Street.
Cockwin Street.
Dear God, an entire street of them.
Do we
Start with the
just steal it from her, or do we try and give her a story? Do we say we know Cockwind, and what's the plan?
I think
I don't see why we need to lie about anything here.
Yeah, we're friends. We're
Well,
friends of
we need to
Cockwind.
lie because
We're friends of Cockwind.
he didn't steal it.
And he's asked us to come and recover his painting back, as he has need of it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he needs it. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll head to the address.
Okay. You head to the address, which is a very humble house on a rather ramshackle street in Neverwinter, and you're greeted when you knock on the door. You're greeted by a plump, middle-aged halfling woman.
Good morning, young lady.
Hello.
We're friends of young Cockwind. L. Cockwind.
L, as you may just call
L.
him.
Oh, how you know? Oh, lovely.
I don't mean to trouble you, but he'd asked us to reacquire a painting that I believe he passed on to you sometime
Before
ago.
you can finish, he just suddenly goes, friends of Cockwind, come in, make yourselves at home. How is my nephew? How is he?
Will Benjin fit through the front door?
It is a normal sized house.
Oh, okay. He is well. He is.
You are ushered into a lounge, which is quite small, and with a small couch and some chairs, and you're kind of just rammed into the room. And then she quickly goes into the kitchen, and you hear the kettle going and things like that. And it's very much like doilies everywhere. And above the mantelpiece is this massive painting, which is, to be fair, rather garish and rather twee, of a gnome wrapping presents under or looks like he's wrapping presents, but it's something to do with presents under a tree with a fireplace in there as well. And the tree's inside the house.
Right.
Well, there's no mistaking that.
Yeah,
That's
definitely as described.
Jolly good. Okay.
So she comes in with like cups of tea for everyone. Oh, if I'd known you'd
Thank
come
you.
in, I would have made some cake.
Oh, that's quite all right. We've literally just had an enormous breakfast.
Oh.
Is it like a thimble-sized cup of tea? So I finish
Oh
it.
no! It's like she's made like 4 mugs of tea for each.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's like, "Oh, you do look cold. Shall I put some more coal on the fire?"
Oh no, that's quite all right. You're very kind.
Oh,
but
Very kind. Thank you.
Oh, so how is my little pumpkin?
He is very well. He prospers, and
he certainly prospers.
he's prospering, and he's stout and hardy as always.
Oh, how's the business arrangement with his new friend going?
I
Believe it
believe
to be quite
they are,
profitable.
yes, they are
Oh,
doing very well indeed.
Oh, that Arrakis was such a lovely gentleman.
So,
Was he?
Very
What?
upstanding.
He's
Such manners. Oh, a lovely, lovely man.
you saved my life once, don't you?
Oh, I'm not surprised, but it warms the cockles of my heart to hear it.
Yes.
Xanhorn's
I
doing
just
like a
looked
double
at
take,
that like, oh, for God's sake.
the same Arrakis.
So, Madam Cockwind,
So, where is my little moon pie?
we believe he's exploring venture opportunities with Arrakis, of course.
Of course, always thinking about business.
Those two never rest when there's work to be done.
Oh, such entrepreneurial spirit in him. I don't know where he gets it from.
He's certainly
Yes.
entrepreneurial. I would definitely,
Yes.
yeah, I'd definitely call him that.
He's a man who takes every opportunity that comes his way.
Yes.
So, Madam Cockwind, I'm afraid we may need to take this centerpiece of your lovely home.
Oh,
I know. I wish we were here for
it was a
gladder
gift.
tidings.
It was a gift off my little moon pie.
We don't need it for all that long. We
No.
just need it for. He's got an art celebration that
Exhibition,
he's trying to put
yes.
together. Exhibition, yeah, that he's trying to put on for some of the the younger kids in the area to try and improve their appreciation for these things.
Inspiring young artists in Neverwinter.
That's it. You know how he's
Is
always
the
trying to
working
do
title.
good for these kids.
Benjin, as they're talking to Miss Cockwind, you are adamant you can see snow falling outside the window in the painting. But every time you kind of look at it, stop again, it's not snowing. It's just like at the corner of your eye, you swear it's snowing.
Just like before.
Mm.
I'll sort of try and gesture. Gesture.
Yeah.
You
It's
rang?
because I started drinking at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
I'll try and gesture to Cenza and see if he can sort of notice this.
Is that perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Not just do you think you can see the snow falling, but every so often again, it's out your corner of your eye. You think you can see the flames crackle in the fireplace of the painting as well.
Yeah,
But
I
if you look
just
at it straight, it doesn't seem to be moving. It's kind of like only when you look at it, you get a peripheral vision.
I just nod to Benjin and go, yeah.
What does it mean?
So if we
Did-
could take hold of the painting for a week or so for this exhibition, I dare say young Cockwind would be extremely grateful.
As long as you promise to bring it back.
Oh, of course.
What
Of
with him going to trying to make his fortune in Waterdeep, it's I don't have much left to remember him by, the little scamp.
And I'm
I
sure
absolutely
he'll be back to
understand.
see you soon. He sends his love, by the way.
So I say to her, we can also recompense you in some small way for the use. Have you heard of the Ykril boutique? They're my family, and I'm a message from me, and they can fit you out with a lovely new dress. A young lady of your beauty deserves to treat herself.
She starts blushing then. She goes,
Xanhorn will-
he goes, young man, stop it.
So,
And I get out a bit of parchment and write, dearest mother and father, this lovely lady, please, give her whatever she wants free, basically.
and Havarl is just going to lean into Cenza, maybe suggest, maybe let her send a message directly to Cockwind herself via you.
Indeed.
Yeah, personal touch.
And indeed, I am also a cleric of the God of Knowledge, and I can send short messages. Is there anything you would like young Cockwind to know? Any message you would like to relay to him?
Oh, just make sure he's keeping warm and eating well. That's all.
Okay. Hello, Cockwind. Your auntie would like you to make sure you are keeping warm and eating well. Love and cuddles.
Brilliant.
Do you know what? I'm actually going to, while we're online, I'm going to Facebook message that to say it.
Are you going to put it in any sort of context, or are you just going to send
No,
him
I'm
that
just
message?
going to send it to him.
Brilliant. That's classic.
Yeah, he was online very recently. So
Okay. So while Cenza's sending his message, I'll gesture to Benjin to give me a hand with the other side of the painting.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
Which
So
can
we'll
take
try
the
and
painting
we'll
down.
lift the painting gently off the wall, being very careful
Okay.
not to damage anything.
Yep. Okay.
And just to keep it safe, I'll throw the fur that I had over the top of it, just so it's not obvious what we're carrying around.
Okay.
Lovely. So, shall we head back to the? Is it the House of Knowledge?
Indeed.
Indeed.
To the gallery, you mean?
Gallery. Off to the gallery then.
Yes.
Madam Cockwind, thank you for your hospitality painting.
You've been
We
very
shall
kind.
See you soon.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for the tea.
Of course.
Most welcome.
I'm sure you will look beautiful in your new dress.
Again, she blushes and just. So
When we get outside, I'll look at Sense like, you're really getting the hang of this. I'm proud of you, buddy. I mean, she's a bit old for my taste, but
I'm going to put some money here that Cenza is the first one to shag in game.
Cockquin's auntie.
No, just in general.
Oh, I see.
They could be.
So you head back to the room in the message back from Cockwind.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie. I will. Arrakis sends his love.
Oh dear.
So you head back to the gallery then. In the basement of the House of Knowledge.
Indeed.
And I assume you hang the painting back up in the empty space.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we put our rings together, and by our powers combined,
Yeah, by our combined.
we'll say the blah, 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 blah.
Again, the feeling is the same. There's this kind of buffet. As if something wants you to go into the painting, but then it is stopping you from going in.
There's only 4 of us here. Perhaps we need somebody on every painting.
Maybe.
Do we need someone on each painting?
All
except
6, maybe. Perhaps they need to be arranged.
Yeah, maybe they need to be arranged. So are the colours
they've been-
on the outside? Do they match the colours of the dragons around that they're around?
So it's green,
Yeah,
black.
They're in the right order.
Okay.
already.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe we should give the deacon a shout. Do you think he would help us with this? Or is
I would be hesitant in case anything were to happen. We are capable of defending ourselves. Do bear in mind the people here are nothing but librarians and clergy.
fair?
Knowing our luck, we'll end up being sucked into the paintings and having to fight on.
Yeah, that's quite possible. So we did it with our hands on the centre painting. Maybe we should try on the other paintings.
So, which one? What are you doing exactly?
So
Like one on each.
Yeah, we'll each put a hand
One on each, yeah.
on the outer paintings and try again.
So, who's touching which painting?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll take the red one.
I'll
blue
take the
one.
green.
So, who was on the green? Sorry.
I was on the green.
Okay.
I'll go
And you're all
blue.
gonna, and what you're gonna do? You're all gonna say the.
Which one am I on?
Black would be the best guess because that's the second one.
Alright, I'll go on black.
2, 3, 4.
Okay, so and you're all saying the command word together, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Starting with Cenza. As you whisper the command word, you feel yourself being pulled into the painting.
Bollocks.
And you appear in a small wooden hut. There's a tree, an evergreen tree, has been brought in and has been decorated in the middle of the room. And a gnome dressed in odd clothing is in the middle of the room and seems to be trying to arrange presents on the floor. As soon as he sees you, he runs screaming out of the door, and you hear the door bolt and shut.
I went over to the door. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Open the presents.
You hear nothing. There's no answer from the other side.
Okay. So in the room I'm in, there's pretty much a present.
There is this tree.
Tree.
There is you can see a window to outside. There's a fireplace with the fire burning in the fireplace. There's a whole group of presents. It's not just one present. There are several presents under the tree, and all wrapped in different wrapping paper. But where the gnome was leaned over, you can see something. Has been drawn in chalk into the floorboards.
Okay, can I make some sort of check to see if I recognise what that is?
You don't need to make a check.
Yeah.
And Steve, can we see this happening, or is this essentially what happens
Right, because
while something else is happening?
Did you all say the command word at the same time?
Yeah, we did.
I assume we would have done.
Yes, so you've all been sucked into your respective paints.
Okay,
Right. So we just got to deal with one at a time, though. But it's all happening at the same time. Right.
So. Cenza, this is what you can see has been scrawled onto the floor.
That's quite... That's not really scrawled.
Yeah, that's quite well drawn, yes.
Yeah. My eyes instantly drawn to the scroll.
Yes, it is a symbol of Ogma.
Yeah, I try touching the scroll and casting Cure Wounds. Just try to channel some divine energy, basically.
This symbol on the floor does glow slightly.
Right.
That's about it. Also on the floor, already you can see there's a whole bunch of presents are kind of under the tree.
Yeah.
But on top of the horseshoes is already a present wrapped in wrapping paper, which has got horses on it.
Right, so...
And the goblet next to it has a present on top of it, which is pictures of bottles of wine.
Okay, so I look at the wrapping paper on the presents and try and match them up to I presume these are all holy symbols.
Yes, and each present has got like something different. Each one is completely wrapped differently. Some of them appear to be quite obvious, but it is generally a case of matching all the presents to the ones you can see. So, for instance, the first one is a cherry. So it's all like little cherries.
Yeah, cherry. So I'd put that with the bowl of fruit.
Okay. The next one you see is basically just green trees. If you jump, can you ping where you're going to put them?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, with the trees.
Okay. The next one is a castle.
A castle.
So it's like the fortification, the walls and castellations of the castle.
I'll put that with the shield then. Shields.
Okay. The next one you find has got a a mace on it.
With the mace.
Yeah. You see the next one is just all kinds of soldiers, and they're all kind of in kind of ancient armor. So they're carrying a spear, they're carrying a shield, and they're carrying these horned helms.
Okay, with the nightmare helmet.
Okay.
Spellcasting. Get me the fuck out of this painting.
Spellcasting. TXI. Oh shit. TIXE.
So the next one you find is it's basically just lots of text all over it, like as if someone's written an entire book and ripped up the page of the book.
That's with the symbol of Ogma. That's my jam.
Okay. The other one, the next one you find shows lots of little elves running.
Lots of little elves is running. Interesting. That would be the boots then.
Okay. You find one of them's a plates of food.
Okay, let's go for the forks.
And then the last one is a crescent moon.
Crescent moon, so let's go for the owl.
There you go. You have lined up all the presents onto all of the locations. As you do this, what you didn't notice is that inside the tree were two birds tweeting, and they come out of the tree and they transform into two women, and they say,
Hello.
I think you were totally on it, Ben.
I didn't predict a threesome though.
God.
Oh dear God.
They said, "Thank you. You have correctly solved the puzzle. Please select a present."
Please select a present. See, which one is likely to be the dragon stone, orb of dragonkind? I'd go for the book, the text, the book.
Text. So they hand you the present and allow you to unwrap it.
You chose
But
poorly.
Inside, you find a scroll of divination.
oh, nice.
And with that, you feel like everything kind of like go wibbly wobbly around inside your head, and everything kind of swirls. And then the next thing you know, you're standing back in the middle of the gallery.
Oh, well, that was interesting.
One of the green dragon is no longer on the main painting at the front. So only 4 dragons now hold the dragon orb.
Interesting.
Oh, right.
Right.
But he's on his own because we're still. Oh no, because it's all.
Yeah,
happening
because
at
you've
the
all
same time.
gone into the. You've all gone into the.
So actually, we've probably all come out as well. But yeah, all right.
Yeah. So, Benjin, you were the one who touched the one with the old castle on the front.
Yeah. But I touched the black one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you emerge. You appear yourself just outside this castle, and right in front of you is the man
Whoa.
in the man in clerical robes singing a song to a woman. You can just see her in the tower above.
Okay.
He seems to be singing some kind of love ballad. His song is not anything to write home about. It's pretty
Xanhorn
average
standards.
singing. Yeah. And occasionally you can see this shadowy figure inside the tower. And next to the tower, at the top of the tower, is this large black bird, but it's mostly out of sight from where you are. The guy singing doesn't appear to have noticed your arrival.
Hmm. And that's it.
Mm.
Oh, shit. Right. Well, I suppose I better go and introduce myself to the viewer.
So what are you doing?
So whereabouts am I?
So So there's this bloke. Basically,
the
there's this
castle.
man in clerical robes in front of you. He's got his back to you.
Clerical robes.
And he's singing this song up to this tower. So you've been basically you're at the side of a castle. So the main entrance to the castle is off to one side, and this tower is above you.
All right. I'm going to go and sort of stand next to him.
And do what, sorry?
I'm going to try and sing as well.
Right, make a performance check.
Pick the wrong painting.
Yeah. Performance check. This is going to be terrible.
It's going to be hilarious.
Could have been worse.
To be fair, you can hold a tune maybe better than him. And okay, you don't exactly know the song he's singing, but you're able to just harmonize and give a tune as wherever possible. And you allow him to finish his song. And as he finishes, this pale arm comes out and tosses something to him, which he captures and which he grabs and takes. Oh, sorry, that was some beautiful singing there.
What, he says that to me?
Yeah. Thank you for the harmonization.
That's all right. Is this your lady friend?
Ah, this is my love, held in this tower against her will.
Oh.
If only I could get her down somehow.
Have you mated with her yet?
Pardon? Sorry, our love is undying.
Oh, you've only just met her then.
Yes.
Okay. And she's stuck in the tower.
Yes, held against her will.
Right. And you would like some help rescuing her? I would think.
If you would be so kind, yes.
In fact, just before we do this, I'm just going to ask him what she threw down, just in case that's the answer.
It was a rose.
Oh, okay. Right. What does it look like then? This tower.
So
Let's
the
see.
tower has got
Solid
ivy
penny
growing
black,
up the side of it,
Right.
and you can see to actually get to the tower, you'd have to go into the castle itself, kind of round the corner.
Oh, okay. Do I have my stuff with me? Is that
Yeah, everything you own has come with you.
right? Okay. So I will say I'll say to him I'll don't really know where I am and what I'm doing, but nothing better to do. Let's see if we can get your young lady friend so that you can take her back and have children and merriment and everything that I would do in my village.
Well, I'd be most appreciative, sir.
Oh, so we share then.
You are a strange individual, sir.
Okay, right.
He certainly is the barbarian.
Well, I'll do my best to help you, but obviously, if I get her out, there's no saying whether she might go for me instead. I mean, look at my physique, and if I save her, but
I assure you, our
I'll
love
put
is
in a
undying,
good word
sir.
for you.
Our love
So-
is of the ages.
Okay, well, I'll go around the corner and I'll try and enter. Does he come with me, or is he sort
No.
of painted in place and can't come?
No, he stays where he is. He makes no attempt to follow you.
Okay. Right. So I'll start trying to make my way inside then.
Okay, so there's obviously some kind of festivity going on inside the castle.
Oh, shit, I've got to sing again. Go on. Yeah.
There is there's very few guards on the main gate, but there are guards going into the courtyard, which, as you could probably work out, you'd probably have to go past the guards in order to get into the courtyard.
So there's no other way in though other than guards.
There's no other way. There's no other way into the courtyard. No.
Is there any other places to go, or is it literally just the courtyard?
The only route you could see is you either go like the direct route so you can actually go in, but you probably could climb the ivy going up the side of the tower.
Yeah. Let's have a go at climbing the ivy. Why not?
Okay.
I haven't got a climber's kit. I've got rope and I've got pitons that could help.
Pitons.
And a hammer. And a hammer.
You just climb the vine, surely.
Or just climb the vine, yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah. I'm going to have a go at climbing the vine.
Okay. I'm going to want you to make a couple of, few athletics checks.
But could I... Oh, it'd take longer, but I guess there's not a lot of time. Could I use the rope, tie it round me, and sort of climb? I don't know how thick the vine is, or whether it's a bit wispy, whether it's worth tying it round me and like trying to tie it off a bit and climb up a bit and undo it.
Okay.
Climb up a bit.
So as
just to create a sort of moving anchor.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And you've got the pitons.
Well, I can
Pitons,
use them, but then I have to hammer them into.
Right.
So
okay.
I'm thinking of just tying myself to the vine.
Okay. I will give you advantage on your athletics checks then.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Because you're securing yourself, so it's the ivy kind of growing up, and you've got them for hand.
Yeah, I'm going to secure myself to the ivy.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather than the vine, rather than the actual hammering.
Okay.
I think.
But okay, so I want you to make a athletics check.
Athletics.
With advantage because you're tying yourself off.
With advantage. Okay. Advantage.
Oh, sorry. No, I'll tell you what to do. Normal climbing check is without advantage.
Sorry?
So no, without advantage at this point.
Without. Okay.
Yeah.
So just an athletics check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you make it up to the first 10 feet of the tower without any issue. So you're about a third of the way up.
Okay.
And using the ivy as handholds as some fairly firm grips, and you're tying yourself off to secure yourself as you go. Make another athletics check.
Straight one?
Yep. Oh, you're getting the hang of this
Smashing
now.
It.
So easily reaching through, no problem, pulling yourself up. You get another 10 feet up. So you're about 2/3 of the way up now.
Okay.
So make one last check just to get to the top. it's because of the ivy being in place, it's quite easy for you to get a foothold. And before you know it, you're at the top of the tower where there's an archway leading into the room.
Right. Okay.
Inside, you find a young maiden.
Oh, God.
Who I'm dreading this myself now. My lover has sent you, my sweetheart. Are you here to rescue me?
Or to have my way. Oh
dear.
God. Yes, I'm here to rescue you.
How do you propose we get me out of this tower prison?
How long is a rope?
50 foot.
Or is it 50?
Normally. Most
All
ropes are 50 foot long, right?
Yeah.
In the world.
Are they? Hang on. Do I need to look it up in the book?
No, it's 50 foot.
No, it's 50
Oh, it is
foot.
50 foot. All right. How about I tie the rope round her and lower her down?
Okay. She agrees to your plan. So what I want you to do is just do a strength check as you lower her down.
Oh, no.
Strength check. So I just click on strength.
Ah!
Strength check. Just a straight one, yeah?
Yep.
How many do I... Oh, is this metagaming? How many am I going to...
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She starts she just goes. You tie her up in the rope. You tie the rope around her, and you slowly lower her down, and it's no problem. She weighs next to nothing, and
Right.
she gets to the bottom, unties the rope from herself, and throws her arms around the cleric of Ogmar, who was singing up to her.
Right. So I obviously pull my rope up and climb back down the vine
Well,
in the same way as before,
yeah.
or not?
You don't need to, because as soon as the two of them embrace, you feel
Right.
your brain kind of almost being pulled out your eyeballs, and the whole place just. And next thing you know, you're standing in the middle of the gallery, standing next to Cenza, and the black dragon has vanished from the big painting.
So I vomit a little bit from the motion sickness,
Yeah.
and I don't get a present. I should have copped a feel.
I got a present.
That was fucking
One
weird,
of these
wasn't it?
days, Benjin, we need to have a proper talk about appropriate ways to treat women. That's just
You
not
don't
done
know.
in civilized society.
You don't know this. This all happened at the same time. We've just popped out at the same time.
You just said you should have got to feel, and I'm saying that's not bad.
Oh dear. My worry is probably little Benjin popped out at that point as well.
Oh.
Big Benjin, I'll have you know.
Big Ben.
Oh dear.
Someone's going to have to do a second painting, aren't they?
One
Gentlemen,
step at a time.
it is
Right.
10 past. It's coming up for 10
Yeah.
past 10, and I think that's an opportune venture to pause it for this evening.
Just out of curiosity, who's next?
It was going to be
John, I think, isn't it? Red.
So what
Did John
colour
say
were
red
you?
or
No, I'm red. I don't know what
you next then?
I said blue.
Yes, it is. It's
Havarl.
Rory next. Yeah, it's Havarl next.
Okay. Cracking.
Well, I did
Can't
not
wait.
see us being sucked into a painting this evening.
Where am I?
I'm in a room.
That was great stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
very cool.
Good to have you back.
Yeah,
happy to be here.
And congratulations as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Cheers, guys.
One more role player in the making, right?
Yeah, future role player. Yeah, no, it's all good. I've got three now. Three willing victims for when I finally get around to DMing at some point.
Nice. When we say willing.
But I'm their father. They have to do what I say.
You will be willing.
Or no dinner.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Cool. Well, in that case, let's just say goodnight to our internet followers. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm sure there's
Thank
more
you.
than one, right?
No.
Two of them.
Yes. So next week, the Masters of Fate should be back on track with their endeavours, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time, I expect.
Cool.
Yes.
So good night, folks.
Good night.
Saturday
Night.
night.
Right.